Leave it. Yes, good girl. Look at me. Yes, good girl. Hey guys, welcome back to our beginner dog training series. In this video, we're going to be talking about the look cue, so stick with me. If you are new to my channel, thank you so much for being here. My name is Jessica. I'm the furry family coach. I'm a pet parent coach, and this channel is all about dog training, dog behavior, canine nutrition, and enrichment, and I throw some cat stuff in there every once in a while because I am a pet parent coach after all. So if you are new here, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Once you do, a bell will appear. Click the bell, select all notifications. That way YouTube can notify you every time I post a new video. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the look cue, and my dog Kim, who is just out of shot right now, is going to be helping me show you this look cue. Now, I don't want you to think that we need to have our dogs staring at us directly in the eye. That's not what this is about. So I just want to kind of throw that out there for anybody who thinks they're going to try to perfect this and make sure their dog is staring them straight in the eyes. That's not what we want to do. And in fact, that's kind of a threatening thing in the canine world. If one dog is staring down another dog, it's generally because, or a wolf, if you think about wolves and coyotes and wild animals, it still carries down into the canine genealogy. So even with dogs, if one dog is like staring down another dog, generally that's a very threatening posture. So we don't want like your dog, the goal here is not to have your dog staring you in the eyes, but what our goal here with the look cue is to get your dog's attention. And the reason, of course, we know we want our dog's attention on us, right? We want them to pay attention to us so that they can listen better, so that they can follow whatever directions we're giving them, and so we can help improve their behavior and redirect them to something else if maybe their behavior isn't exactly what we want it to be in the moment. So for all of these reasons, the look cue is this is a second video in our beginner dog training series. If you haven't checked out the first video yet, there is a playlist linked in the description, so you can go ahead and check that one out. The first video was the leave it cue, and while I'm talking about the leave it cue, wait and stick around to the end of this video because we're going to be doing some super pup training in the end of this video where we're going to combine both the look and the leave it cue, so you don't want to miss that. All right, so I've got my handy dandy treats here. Now, if you do not have a food motivated dog, again, I've said this before, I've said this in multiple videos, it could be that you haven't found the right food or reward for your dog. Maybe you're not using a high enough value treat. There is a hierarchy of values when it comes to food for dogs. So we want to find where different treats and foods lie in that hierarchy for your dog. And this is going to be specific to your dog. I would recommend trying something like these Vital Essentials. I will link them in the description below. This is not a sponsored video, but I do happen to really like Vital Essentials because they do have purely raw, one ingredient freeze-dried treats, so I know exactly what I'm giving my dog. So I will again link Vital Essentials treats in the description below for you guys. But what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do, Kim? I need to get you in the shot. Come on, baby. Come on, my little bud. Can we get you in the shot? Yeah, that's my girl. This is Kim. Say hi. Say hi, Kim. Okay, so really quick before we get started, let me know what brought you to this video particularly. Maybe you're watching my whole beginner dog training series, and that's wonderful. Thank you so much for being here and for participating in this series. Or maybe you were just looking for a specific cue or beginner dog training. Let me know and comment in the comments below, and let me know what drew you to this video because I really want to know. And of course, in the description, I also have a link to my group. That way, if you join the group, we can actually converse and discuss specifics about you and your dog one-on-one, and I would love to have you there. So let's go ahead and get into the look cue. This one's pretty simple, but I do want you to practice it for at least a couple of days, and you don't have to practice it for long. Again, if you've been following me for any period of time, I don't want you to wear this out, right? Dog training should be fun. It should be a fun exercise, a bonding exercise between you and your dog. So don't wear it out, right? Just do it a couple of minutes at a time, maybe a couple of times a day. It is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be work, right? So all I want to do is take a treat or some sort of reward. If your dog prefers toys, if they're very play motivated, use toys. That's wonderful. But I really like treats. Find something, even if it's like cheese or a cut up hot dog, I really generally would not recommend you feeding hot dogs to your dog, but I mean, find something that your dog is really wants, right? So what I'm gonna do is take the treat and I'm gonna hold it up to my face, kind of close to my eyes, and when my dog is looking at me, which Kim already is because she knows what I have in my hand, but if your dog is hesitant, is resistant to looking at you, first of all, let me say, anytime you're going into a training session, especially if you have a hyperactive dog, let's exercise our dog first, right? That's going to get them in a better mental state to actually pay attention to you. So if your dog is super hyperactive and wanting to play, that's not a good time to train. Let's get that play out of them, get some exercise into them, and wear them out a little bit. And then let them cool down, and then let's start training. So if your dog is maybe just not in the pay attention to me mode, and you've already done your exercise and your dog has kind of calmed down, then what you want to do is just show them that you have a treat and get their attention, and let them smell it, right? And then they're going to really start paying attention to you. So I'm going to pull it up. Yes, and as soon as she looks up at me, again, I'm not asking her to stare me directly in the eyes. That is threatening posture for a dog. But what you saw there is once she looked up at me, which is all I'm asking for, I said yes, and I rewarded her. So I'm going to do this a couple of times. And again, if you haven't watched the first video in this series with the Leave It cue, I do want to let you know I also have a video on how to train with treats and not overfeed your dog. That is linked in that Leave It cue video, so definitely check out my playlist below, find the Leave It cue video, watch that, and then in the description of that video I have a link to the how to train with treats and not overfeed. So we're going to do this one more time. Yes, good girl, good girl. I always say praise is free, so give it out freely, right? So anytime you are rewarding your dog, let's go ahead and praise them too. It really goes so much further than you think. Yes, good girl. So now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use a treat, and I'm just going to put my hand, I'm going to point up to my face, and then I'm going to have a treat ready in my other hand. And I don't have a treat in this hand, and I'm just going to point up to my face, and I'm going to say, look at me, look at me. Yes, good girl. And when she does, then I'm going to say yes and reward that. Now, if you aren't quite there yet, if you're having trouble with your dog with saying look at me, use a treat. Look at me, yes, good girl, and start adding that in together. So your dog starts getting used to the look at me cue. No treat. Look at me, yes, good girl. Good job. And that really is the look cue, right? So I want you to practice this for just a couple minutes at a time. I don't want you to overdo it. Really, just do it a few times and get your dog in the habit of doing it. Again, our dogs are very situational. So do it in the living room, do it in the dining room, in the kitchen, in the bedroom. When you're good at that and you've exhausted all areas of your home, the bathroom, maybe a spare bedroom, wherever it may be, once you do that, then you can start adding in distractions. This is where you would add in dogs, other people, and then once you do that, you can start going outside, maybe in your backyard or your front yard, and then escalating to maybe the park. You know, so there's so many different things you can do, and I want you to get to the point where you're able to do all of these cues in all of these different areas, because dogs are very situational, so they need to know that you expect the same results everywhere you go, because they're not going to know that if you don't practice it. If you only practice in your living room and then you go out to the park and you say look at me, they're not going to have any idea that you want the same result because you haven't practiced it there. So I definitely want you to practice this in all different areas. And I'm so glad you're still with me, because we're going to do our super pup moment of the video, okay? So we're going to combine in the leave it cue with the look at me cue. So here's what we're going to do. And this may take a couple of days to work up to, and that is totally fine. We're going to take 2 different treats. Get a decent sized one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop one on the ground. Leave it. Yes, good girl. Look at me. Yes, good girl. Good girl, that's my good girl. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna keep practicing. Again, if you did watch the Leave It video, you know that whatever treat I use for Leave It, I don't like to feed because there is a difference in the wait cue and the Leave It cue. So I was actually just telling somebody at my group this today. She posted a video of her and her dog, and she was doing amazing with her puppy, doing all kinds of enrichment, and she had some food rolled up in like a kitchen towel, which is actually another video on my channel that I did a couple of years ago. And it's a really good way to get your dog to use their nose to sniff out their food and their treats. And she was saying leave it, and then after the dog would sit down, she would say okay and let the dog get to the food that was on the ground. And I actually prefer to say wait in this instance, because leave it I want reserved for something that they cannot have. So if you're out on a trail and there's, you know, dog poop or something that is on the corner of the trail and your dog goes and sniffs at it, that's not something that you ultimately are going to reward them with if they're good, right? That is something that you don't want them touching. You want them to leave it alone and keep going. That is different from a wait, which is, yes, this is for you, but I need you to show some restraint and then you'll be rewarded with it. So that's a wait cue. So I kind of want to distinguish those two with you guys. But good girl, you're such a good girl. So that is the look cue, and of course our super pup moment where we combine the leave it cue and the look cue. So I really hope that after you spend a couple of days on the look cue, you come back and you rewatch the super pup moment and do the leave it and the look together, and let me know. Post about it. You can join my group and tell me all about it. I would really love for you to do that. The link to my group is in the description. Also, tag me. Take a picture or a video and tag me on Instagram. My handle is right down here. And really quick, before you go, there is going to be another video popping up here. I think here, maybe here. I'm not sure. It's going to pop up. It's really going to help build the relationship between you and your dog, so I highly recommend you checking that out next. Thank you so much for being here with me today. If you haven't already, please give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. When you do, a bell will appear. Click the bell, select all notifications. That way YouTube can notify you every single time I post a new video. Thank you so much for being here and watching this beginner dog training series. Make sure to check the description below for a link to the playlist so you can go through the entire beginner dog training series and work with your dog. I will see you in our next video.